Hello friends, family, total strangers. Today's video is going to be on camping, on free camping, the different types of it and how to find it. So Jax's mom works from home and needed a little time to herself to work, so I'm on a little 5-day trip. Brought Jax McGee with me. And I'm just kind of exploring around northern New Mexico here. I'm currently on the Chama River. Chama, I don't know, something like that. Really pretty area, and I am staying at a free campsite. So let's talk about the different types of free camping. You have, of course, campgrounds. So there are free campgrounds. They're often out in the middle of nowhere. But a campground will usually have a bathroom, picnic table, fire ring. It'll usually have at least those three minimum. Sometimes there won't be a bathroom, but usually there is. And then, you know, some free campgrounds also might have garbage service or water, or even showers and hookups, but all that's pretty rare. Normally, a free campground is going to have just a picnic table, bathroom, and fire ring. Another type is dispersed camping, which is, so in National Forest land and BLM land, they have dispersed camping. So you just, and essentially what that is unless otherwise posted, on any national forest or BLM land, you can just pull up and camp. And oftentimes there will already be, you know, a spot cleared out with a fire ring. And yeah, there's no picnic tables or bathrooms or anything, and you just park and camp. And that's dispersed camping. In national forests, it's 16-day limit, and you have to move at least 5 miles every 16 days. And in BLM land, it's a 14-day limit, and you have to move 25 miles, I think, every 14 days. I never stay more than a few nights. Like I don't really do this to sit in one spot for 16 days. I want to travel and see things. So yeah, that's dispersed camping. Now, that means you either have to have a way to go in your rig or to the bathroom, or you need to go in the woods, dig a cat hole and everything and go in the woods. Or, you know, a lot of times there's river accesses or picnic sites or things like that, or hiking trailheads with a bathroom, and you can which are, you know, sometimes not that far away, so you can either drive to them or walk to them. But yeah, that's that. Another type of free camping is parking lots and rest areas and things like that, where you're pretty much just parking and sleeping for the night. You're not pulling out your camp chairs and setting up camp. You're just parking there and sleeping for the night, like Walmart parking lots. And I don't do that very often. Every now and again, hey buddy. Every now and again I will stop at a rest area and just sleep. But to my mind, that's not really camping. That's just parking overnight. And the last type is stealth camping, which is in a city, usually, or a town, and you're just parking on the street. Not into that. I'm not a stealth camper. It's pretty much illegal. It's illegal. Most cities have an ordinance against sleeping in your vehicle, so I really don't stealth camp at all. Every great now and again, if I absolutely have to, I will. But otherwise, I'm always boondocking, so I'm out dispersed camping most of the time, and sometimes free campgrounds. I did a video on paying for camping, and I'll do that every great now and again, but for the most part, I free camp, and that helps me save more money for doing the other things that I like to do. So the place I'm staying at right now is the Whirlpool dispersed camping area. And this is kind of weird because it's like in between of a campground and a dispersed area. So you turn off the Forest Service road, and there's a sign that says Whirlpool dispersed camping area. And so it's a loop that kind of goes around down by the river, and there's all these sites along the river here, which are awesome. So it's not really a campground because there's no picnic tables or metal fire rings or anything. However, there is a bathroom, which is great. So it's easily walkable from any of the places to camp in this dispersed area. So it's kind of like a cross between a campground and dispersed camping. But yeah, it's great that it has a bathroom. So this is a really awesome spot, beautiful spot. Right through the river valley here. So those are the different types of camping, and then how to find those. There are various methods to find your free camping options. And I guess I really didn't mention the other types of places, because although there's national forest land and BLM land, there's also wildlife management areas, which often have either free campgrounds or free dispersed camping. Army Corps of Engineers land sometimes has free campground or free camping. There's other little options. National recreation areas sometimes have free camping, and sometimes even national park will have free campgrounds. In Death Valley, for example, there are several free campgrounds inside the national park. But like I was saying earlier, they're very remote, and that's part of the reason that they're free is they're way the heck out there. But yeah, the best way to find free camping, I would say my number one resource is a website called freecampsites.net. There are other websites, but Free Campsites is a great one. There's another website called Campendium, which I don't know that much about. I've never really used it, but I know other people do. I just use Free Campsites. That's plenty good for the most part. And that has, other than stealth camping, it has all those different types of listings on it. So sometimes it'll just be a place to park, like a rest area or a Walmart. But they also list all their campgrounds and dispersed camping. Freecampsites.net is a great way to find all that stuff, and I'll try to link that in the description. Sometimes the locations are pegged wrong on that. And it's pretty rare, but every now and again I'll come to some place where it's obviously not where I'm supposed to be. But it's a crowdsourced thing, so it's usually corrected. It usually gets corrected if there's something wrong, or if it's a place that used to be free and is no longer free, it usually gets corrected. But yeah, that's my main resource. There are other resources though. So if you know it's national forest land or BLM land from a map, you can just go there and camp. So if National Forest Road, just drive down it until you find a spot to camp. Some places you're not allowed to do that, but it'll be posted if you're not. It'll be posted, no camping except in designated campsites, or it'll be posted that you can't do that. So sometimes I'll just see national forest on a map, take a side road on it, and set up camp. And so I don't even plan it out ahead of time. I just show up and go. I do that quite a bit. And you could do that with BLM land as well. I just don't, I'm not the type of person that'll drive into the middle of brown desert BLM land and set up camp. That's that's not why I do this. Like I want to go interesting places. So there are BLM rec areas, and some of those even have free campgrounds on them, which are usually have something scenic and hiking trails and everything. So BLM rec areas are great, but just BLM land, like brown flat desert, and I don't usually go out there. I would say the one exception to that is southern Utah, because all that BLM land out there is spectacularly beautiful. So southern Utah, I will just go out and camp, but and then find a trailhead the next day or whatever to go on a hike. So just finding it on a map and going out there is another way I find it. A third way is stopping at a Forest Service office or a BLM office, which you can just Google what ones are near you. And they can oftentimes give you recommendations of places to camp if there's nothing on free campsites, or you just don't, you just can't find something. You can definitely stop into a BLM office or a National Forest Service office and find camping that way. I do that quite a bit. By quite a bit, I mean a few times a year. So I guess not that often, but I do that sometimes. And you know, for me, those are the main ways to find free camping. So I have no idea how much or what I'm putting into this video, so I'll probably shoot you to some footage of some camping and also maybe some hikes here. This is more like a standard dispersed site here, so it's not a designated dispersed area, but it's just a little road off of the Forest Service road, and you can just park and camp. Pretty nice freaking spot too. This is a monastery at the end of the road. This is the... Stop barking, Jax. This is the Monastery of Christ. Pretty spectacular place. This is the Rio Chama campground, which is just down the road, about 5 miles from where I camped last night. Notice the picnic table and fire ring. And this is a free campground. The disadvantage, I mean, it's got right on the river, really nice. Disadvantage is that, quit pulling on it, Jax, is that I have to keep Jax on a leash in a campground like this. Whereas if I just go out dispersed camping in a spot off the road, I don't have to worry about that. No barking, buddy, it's just a horse. So yeah, free campgrounds are great, and I'm glad it's here, but I do prefer dispersed camping because I like being out on my own rather than having people right next to me, so I can play my music and not worry about it and stuff like that. So I'll probably go back out to a dispersed spot for tonight. This campground does have garbage service and aluminum recycling, which is really cool. Yeah, this is a pretty spectacular canyon. This is a little section of the CDT, the Continental Divide Trail. Pretty awesome. Somebody was a little hot and thirsty. And it's a big pine tree. Wow, that looks ominous. That's the smoke from the fire on the other side of the ridge, I think, there. So that's pretty much my video. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. Thanks a bunch.